What is up, everybody? Welcome back to your Tsukimonogatari. Tonight we're on episode 2 of Tsukimonogatari. What happened on last episode? So last episode was basically 3 parts. 3 parts last episode. Let me just get the comments on the screen so I do it now instead of forgetting. 3 parts to last episode. We had the beginning, right? Ononoki, intro monologue, sympathizing with the doll, you know, the nature of an oddity that is like masquerading as human, and like, is that them trying to be human, or, and where he kind of ended up, where Araragi kind of got to with the monologue, is it more of a them working with humans, but they're still their own separate thing and they're not trying to assimilate? So that's part A. That's just part A. And then we had the Araragi dream sequence was basically, I felt like him losing his story, going delirious, going crazy, not wanting to wake up, wanting to, you know, feeling entrapped by time. I mean, physically entrapped, because there were the walls and the sand barreling down on him, in the freaking time glass. So that was an entire thing. And then the ending part with Tsukihi Bath, which honestly was what, like, Araragi trying to, like, distract us with fan service and get back to, like, stuff that makes sense, because that's always been part of the story, so let's just throw one of those in. But really he can't escape from the conversation that Tsukihi, you know, brings back up. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And we got 3 more episodes of the arc. So yeah, let me just look through some of these comments. I'm gonna go top to bottom on this real quick. So basically season 3 is gonna be incredibly pogged. That's the dream. Honestly, as long as it matches season 2, your boy's happy. This is a fun little, like, detail kind of thing with, like, a back and forth between Shaft Studio and then, like, Easton the author of, you know, because there's been, like, the little things before of, like, little quips made about, like, getting an anime adaptation or whatever, but now it's that the studio is working on Monogatari at the same time that Isin is, which, you know, they're, like, pointing at each other, and so, like, the bath is originally average size, but then it was made bigger, and then he comments on it, and then Shaft comments on the comment on it, and so it's just basically we're going like 9 layers deep. Literally for the size of the bathroom, we're going 10, 15, 17 layers deep. Just crazy. Very, like, and I know it's funny because it's from a meta thing, right? Like, it's the studios, you know, working and all that kind of stuff. But, like, it oddly feels kind of Monogatari to just the entire process of that feels very Monogatari. Glad my good Reply or whatever your actual username is, because I don't know why YouTube made this change and I gotta install a plugin that changes that. But thank you, I appreciate the people that do enjoy the many minutes and sometimes longer of yapping. But yeah, I'm glad, especially if you appreciate the crazy ideas, because that's always the fun part. Okay, you don't want a bag full of marbles, you want a bag full of marbles and rocks. Why? I don't know. The analogy is broken down. Speaking of breakdowns, the beginning of the end of Pink Cube, who's relating to Araragi's mental breakdown, basically. It's true. It's very true. This here is obviously a chunker. Gonna try to snipe a couple bits here. Boom, 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 boom. I shoot the screen. Shut up. So, bling, 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 boom. Yeah, a lot, like, there's a couple things here that I think that I did kind of talk about and I do agree with, of, like, this arc is like someone who's losing it trying to tell a coherent story. That's kind of what it feels like. That's definitely kind of what it feels like. Oh man, I almost just went on a really crazy tangent, but I'm just going to keep that one gulped down. We can try to do some of the like the meta monster human selves that were brought up in Nisei, as like a way to read the story. We can try to, like, continue some of those as well, especially with, like, Tsukihi. And I like those ideas, and they're fun ideas to work with. Especially, I liked this line of, like, Araragi, of course, is talking about balancing. That's, like, the conversation that Tsukihi forces Araragi to deal with while he's trying to escape by going into the bath and doing all that stuff. Or, like, by the story moves into the bath realm, but the real conversation follows him there. So, you know, I'll get to that in a second. Some of these points as well, I think, do line up with some of the more meta angles that we've played with. There were, man, where were the things that I was? This was okay. There's a couple of things. This was a point that I attaches to this. So the balance of the city is off because Sengoku's not a god anymore. Makes sense. Perfectly makes sense. And I think there's a current thing, because like, okay, let me hold this in your brain, hold this in your noggin, right? That the balance of the city is off, and that Araragi feels the need to be a balancer and to fix that, right? Hold that in your noggin. And then I'm gonna move to this part here of why, because at one point I was like, why is Araragi going full vampire now? And so like, as for why, my question's not like why is he doing it, it's why is he doing it now, right? Because there's a lot of reasons why he's to the point. I mean, he's been straddling half vampire for the vast majority of the story, right? Ever since Kizu, right? So, but what changed specifically that caused the full send now in his... Because I want to say it's his self-perception that's led him here, right? It's his self-perception that's changed him into a full vampire, as opposed to something else, right? That he's now considering himself fundamentally differently in a way that aligns with him being a vampire. So the question is, but why? Why now? The reason I want to go, one of the reasons, because there's a lot of reasons, the now part that I want to go with is that it's like guilt about Sengoku, right? Sengoku even gets brought up in this episode, in the episode somewhere in there, right? It's guilt about Sengoku, because the crazy thing with Sengoku is we've seen Araragi fail. We've seen him fail a lot, right? We've seen him get cut in half doing the sheath thing with Hanakawa. We've seen him throwing his head against walls, getting murdered by Kambaru, like all sorts of stuff, right? I mean, even in Snake Arc, right? He's going up to the shrine over and over and just getting, slammed down big style, every single time. But he's just, so it's not like failure's what upsets him, because he's used to failing. What I think has destroyed, like, what has damaged things so much is that, or like caused this like change in Araragi so much, is that it's not that he failed, it's that Kaiki succeeded, right? It's not that he failed, it's that the guy who he considered to be a villain and who he considered to be evil because of his ideas of what he did to Senjukahara and also his own interactions with Kaiki, that guy, Araragi walks up, ready to talk to Sengoku, and that guy has just fixed the situation that Araragi's been banging his head against, right? And then he said, Kaiki's like, I never talk to her again, it's not good for her, bye, right? That, I think, is what has, like, sent Araragi to where he's at. And, I mean, it makes sense. It's literally the last thing that's happened chronologically. Shout out the timeline. Yay, updated timeline. But, so I think that's the big shift. Because, I mean, think about it. Like, he can't consider Kaiki a villain nearly as well if Kaiki fixed the problem that he couldn't fix. If Kaiki helped Sengoku when he didn't, when Araragi couldn't. And that's what he felt, guilty and responsible for. And the villain is what fixed it. So that's forcing Araragi to, it's forcing him to mentally deal with the fact that he felt responsible for something that he couldn't fix. Which is an entire thing, and it's also forcing him to reconsider his black-white view of Kaiki, which, I mean, considering someone who you have a lot of, like, ticks for villain, but also now a few maybe ticks for, like, not villain, into that more gray area, I mean, I do think Araragi do be kind of justice, do be kind of black and white in a lot of ways, shout out traffic signs, so that, specifically, I think would be very inner turmoil for him, right? And in that inner turmoil, now he's trying to think, like, he's thinking, okay, what is good, what is bad, what is black, what is white, like, if this gray, if this villain who I thought was a villain is, like, maybe not as much as a villain, then, like, what am I? Like, what am I doing? What's even happening with me? And it's forcing all that to come to the surface, which then makes what he goes to is, oh, Ononoki. Like, maybe I'm like Ononoki, an oddity that looks like a human. And while he at first was maybe thinking that Ononoki wanted to be human and was trying to assimilate to human, he's now perhaps changed to maybe Ononoki don't want to be human, the intro monologue. And maybe she's just doing that because it's like the best way to communicate with humans, in which case maybe I'm the same way. Which means that no longer, because I mean, think about it, no longer is there a half-human part. He's no longer trying to get his humanity back because the bridgehead of humanity, that half-human part, is gone, right? So maybe he'll like desperately try to get it back, but the root that it had has like evaporated and slithered away. So combine that with Ononoki, the shift in his perspective on Ononoki being, she's not trying to assimilate, she's not trying to be human, she's just trying to be able to work with humans. That's a fundamental change of oddity trying to be human into oddity as an oddity, right? And so that, I think, parallels really perfectly half human, half oddity that is vampire Araragi into full vampire Araragi, where he's made the same, like Ononoki's just a projection for his own thing, right? That idea, I think, makes the most sense. And some of that was talked about in here of like the sympathizing with a doll, something for him to project his feelings on. Araragi thinks pretending to be human is proof he's not. But it's funny, like he thinks he's pretending to be human. I don't know. It's like man's getting in his own head. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, there's a big chunks. There was something up here. This was another thing I wanted to like real quick like throw thoughts into. Of like, I don't even know if we need like, I feel like a lot like some of the meta ideas, like, because like for me it's like the part that I like to label as meta is like, how is the story shaped by narrator Araragi? That's kind of the meta spot for me. So, if and it's one perspective of the show, right? Of like, it's just one way to approach the show, right? Out of many ways. I think it is overall pretty interesting though to try to toy with it. So like for example, like the Tsukihi stuff, why is he talking to Tsukihi in the bath? Why is Tsukihi the one bringing up this information for Araragi? Maybe that's a reflection of a deeper theme that narrator Araragi has constructed or whatever, right? That's kind of the meta realm. But the intro monologue with Ononoki is like so straight up. I mean, it straight up like describes Ononoki, and to the point that it's like I feel like that's not even the meta Ononoki anymore, but he's just using Ononoki, like the actual Ononoki within his story. Because like I don't know, Ononoki's been pretty consistent, like between the Kaiki episode, and like this episode, like she's always just kind of been a doll doing her thing. So his quote sympathizing end quote with her, I don't even think is him making her into something she's not so that he can project onto it, which would be like the meta angle, as much as it's just straight up like he relates to Ononoki, right? Like he's feeling that for Ononoki. So that's more just, I think that's interesting. And the reason I bring that up is not to like, try to like super like, but more so that it's getting more direct. Some of these ideas are like getting more direct, which I think is, I don't know, is that like out of like desperation or something out of him because everything's falling apart? So like the usual, what's it called? Cloaks and smoke. The usual smoke and mirrors are beginning to like break and like fade away. So, it's just getting more direct as like a result of that. Like, I think that's a reflection of some of the deteriorating state that's going on, which I think is cool. The other thing is like, I don't know if I would consider these ideas here, like how Araragi defines his true monster. Obviously, I don't know how he does this because I haven't seen the arc yet. Because I'm pretty sure there's an arc that's Koyomi Monogatari, right? Isn't that a thing? Is that a spoiler? I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have another like, because I mean like a lot of these arcs are on Araragi, you know, like the Hachikuji arc obviously is a reflection of, like, that's, she's an oddity for Araragi. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have another one of those, right? Like, my guess is. So I'm, you know, a lot of these things are obviously still cooking. Hello? Thank you. So I don't know. I guess I'm trying to, like, make you not trust my own opinion, or, like, trying to be humble or something. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Who cares? Meta-analyze the reaction. F you. Meta-analyze the reaction. Point being, though, the thing I wanted to get to with this is that, like, these examples here of, like, feeling a lack of agency, being unable to express yourself, being a pawn in the hands of fate, like, is that really what the man considers true monstrous behavior? I don't think, like, I think it's part of it, but I don't think that's the point. I think it's more of a, these things are happening to him, right? Because that's the thing that's happening to him. You are a pawn in the hands of fate. Fate is pushing onto you, right? And, like, that's different than, oh, I'm a monster within myself. Boom. It's, oh, something's being pushed onto me, right? And so I think the external part kind of makes me not want to consider that as, like, an inner true monster thing. And then, like lacking agency, being unable to express yourself, like, I would be much more apt to go on the route of, like, the true, how he defines, like, the ultimate issues with himself are this, failure to meet, this, like, intrinsic failure to meet the ideals that he has of justice, of, you know, the world, and that the black and white, you know, guides that he followed up through his life as they began to deteriorate, as the world grew. Dr. Pepper. As the world grew shades of gray, and that black-white began to deteriorate, and those ideas of justice, which he was so, you know, locked into, shout out parents being cops, that is more so, like, it's like it's just a failure. Like, he's always unable to match what he sees as, like, the right thing to do, you know, something more of that lane, which I think is where Ogi comes in, right? So that's, like, being, like, feeling like a pawn at something else. It's like maybe he feels he's a pawn at his morals that have been pressed upon him, you know, by his environment or by his parents growing up. But I would want to not focus on the pressing of the morals as much as the morals, right? Like, the actual part with, or not even the morals, but the failure to reach that, because we're talking about his definition of himself, like his own introspection. Yeah, so that was just an idea there. Also, I think I wrote a banger in here. Yeah, what if we got, like, was it Freud or whatever? The, like, id, no, it's Jung, right? Carl Jung, I think, with id, ego, superego. What if we, like, go as, like, Ogi's like an evil superego, like, where his own, like, Araragi's moral structure, because that's, like, the superego is, like, the high morality or whatever, and the ego is, like, the thought, and then the id is, like, the beast self. Ooh, look at this. Look at me reaching. But it's like, what if we try to get, like, go that angle with it, where Ogi's, like, a rampant, moral framework that's overpowered and thrown Araragi's inner self out of balance. Shout out balance. I don't know, just a thought there. But yeah, I like a lot of these, like, analogies as well of, like the part of vampires being immortal, and I think this is this stuff that's been brought up before, but it's just still so cool, like, analogy sake of, like, the immortality of vampires being, like, an unchangingness, and then, like humans change or whatever, inability to change, you know, he's trying to change back into human, you know, those are all fun things to try to throw at, and then I feel like I had something to say on this line. Balancing wasn't supposed to be my role at first, and then, like, Tsuki says it's not your role at all. Like, why would... I feel like if I'm evil Araragi, like, if I'm someone that wants to hurt Araragi and I have access to his inner self, right? Maybe Ogi. But if I'm trying to maximize the inner strife of Araragi, then saying that it is his role to balance would be the way to do that, right? Where it's like, if Araragi were to think, I'm supposed to balance everything, that's him doubling down on his internal responsibilities, which is also what's causing him strife. Like, what Tsukihi's saying of, it's not your role to fix everything, is, like, healthy. I think that's the good ending, right? That's gray. It's, some things are your responsibility, some things are not. As opposed to, oh, everything's your responsibility always, or, you know? So, like, Tsukihi being like, yo, you don't have to, like, worry about us. That, I think, counteracts the unrealistic ideals that Aragi has for himself, which then, you know, is like, that's a thing, right? And so, like, that's a strife. That's a strife. So, but if I wanted, but I think Tsukihi's pushing him in the, like, in the good direction, in the gray direction. But he considers that idea to be, like, failing, right? Like, where it's like, oh, like, I'm giving up responsibility. Like, that means I wasn't able to do it. That means I'm not a hero. That means I suck. That means I'm a villain, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, it's failure. It's failure to me, as a, you know. So, yeah, like, the monster, like, I don't know about monster, like, I guess you could maybe try to spin it as like a Aragi, considers the it's not your role to be monstrous because it's, like, giving up responsibility to his sisters, you know, in this case, which, like, there's a pretty easy connection to, like, why he would have that responsibility. And so, like, maybe, like, he's considering that monstrous. I can agree with that. But as for, so, like, with it being his perceptions, like, sure. But I do think Tsukihi's right. That's, like, it's not his role. And that's a part of growing up. Like, you're not going to be able to protect all the people, you know? You're not going to always be able to protect your younger siblings as they grow into independent, free-thinking adults. Like, that kind of thing. That's just the nature of growing up. So, yeah. That was just kind of some additional thoughts on that part. Yeah, return to form, pervy hijinks. I'm gonna look at the OP and ED. I think I talked about that. I think that's all true. I think I talked about that last episode. I mean to say, though, who even knows? Disconnect. The bathing with the siblings being, like, infantilized because he's going for comfort. I like that. I like that spin of it too. The Araragi's dad idea has always been, like, a theory. It's just a theory I've always liked. It's never been confirmed or anything, right? Far from it. The theory came from how something bad happened in his past. His parents were cops. We've only seen the mom. However, maybe we've seen more than the mom, is what this comment's saying. 'Cause I think that if we are to, like, I think Oshino works as, like, an interesting, like, beyond just a mentor figure. I think there could be an interesting role of, like, a stand-in father figure, or I don't know, even if you want to make it less about family, like a figure of proper masculinity, or, like, a figure of proper how to exist or whatever, you know, in which case is, like, a mentor. But I think it would also, like, fill, like, a father gap because Araragi has cut his dad out of the story. So the question, like, with that idea in mind, which I've always liked that idea, it's like, maybe Araragi's dad didn't get cut out of the story. Maybe he, like, something happened in the, like, there's a very real reason that he can't exist in the story. And so, like, but, like, this part, like, Araragi referring to his parents as both father and mother, because he said parents plural. I don't think he's ever said father. Because he says parents plural. I can maybe, what I've held whenever that's come up is, oh, that's a misdirect potentially. But this of Hanakawa tells us she spoke to both of them. I thought she only talked to the mom, because the mom was on the screen. If she had also talked to the dad, then yeah, the dad's around. He's totally fine. In which case, what happened? I don't know again. Because who even knows at that point? You know, it felt like one of the routes for the big question of what happened to Araragi before Kizu was something with the dad, because Oshino as a stand-in father figure, because of the cop morality that could have served as, like, a catalyst for him to double down on it, blah blah blah. But yeah, if this is true, then yeah, rip that idea in a lot of ways. Something still could have happened with the dad or the mom. And probably did, but they're probably still both around and chilling. As for Oshino, he's basically the promised mentor figure who suddenly abandoned his apprentice. But yeah, like, suddenly abandoned. Like if we're saying this is Araragi's perspective, I feel like this could be a projection of something that happened previously. Or maybe it's literally just, like, he doesn't understand what happened, and that's just what it looks like. I don't know. That was literally at the end of Bake. That was so long ago. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then I already talked about this. Okay. But yeah, so lots of thoughts in there. Good stuff. Continuing. Mirror means he's more of a vampire than a human right now. I even take it as full vamp, right? And this is a really fun connection of the episode's quite like just like the beginning of Kizu when he was a full vamp. Because sunlight sensitivity, right? That could even be an idea there. So like to think that I'm thinking he might be full vamping right now, full vamping, full send, right? And yeah, so that's a fun connection there. We do be cooking Ogi stuff, yum, cooking up the Ogi kitchen. This is all good stuff. Should be interesting, this arc, especially if it's, never, I don't know how it is in the public opinion, so should be good continuing. This is cool. I was trying to talk about this, but I couldn't remember, like, a lot of the techniques and the words, of, like, the musical, like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and the looping and, like, the mixing, like, all that stuff that was happening in the intro dream sequence. Apparently it's called phasing, invented by my homeboy Steve Reich. Shout out my boy Steve Reich. And so, like, apparently we're starting to, like, that's kind of like a fun, like, musical inspiration connection kind of thing. I haven't looked at these yet. But the nauseating ringing and the slight delays, yeah, that's definitely what it feels like. So I'll look at some of these. I just forgot to, but yeah, I'll try to peek some of those. I do appreciate the recommends on that front. Do feel like an acid trip, true. Alarm setup do be kind of crazy. Fun fact, I woke up sick after this episode. Was it after this episode? Because, yeah, I was going to wake up with, like, 4 hours of sleep. Yeah, I woke up sick with, like, really, like, full snot, like, horrible in my face. And called into work. I called in sick. Like, I woke up with my alarm when I set it, called in sick to work, like, sat around for 45 minutes, and then slept for, like, 5 more hours. So, your boy got his sleep after all, okay? The sick came in clutch. I want to say that Ononoki does a platinum disco dance in her OP. Oh. Is that a connection? Ononoki is Tsukihi. Ononoki tried to kill Tsukihi that one time. In fact, she did. If Tsukihi wasn't immortal, she would have gone like, blink. Omitted my beloved. So this is an interesting distinction of how the omitted that was used, like the translation of it, has an emphasis specifically on, like, this middle part has been omitted as opposed to the rest of, like, what comes is omitted. But so, like, make do with that what you will. I don't know what to do with that. It's interesting. Let me just, like, skim this again. Below omitted, but interesting enough here in Tsukihi they use something else, and while it also means omitted, it's that the middle chunk has been omitted. I mean, maybe it's saying, like, it's the nuance is pointing to how something was pulled out as opposed to just I'm cutting it. Because I mean that's like that's important. Whereas it would be like, rather than, oh, we're skipping this, it's I reached into something and I pulled something out. So like I reached into my dreads, my worries, my anxieties, and I pulled out the one that I don't want you to see and omitted it, as opposed to just here's a chunk that we're not gonna worry about kind of thing. Yeah, but I don't know. It's tough to shout out the dog. It's tough to try to go into the nuance of the like Japanese writing because your boy's getting the English translation, and so it's like it's hard because we're going through the language barrier already, but it's cool. It's cool stuff. Talked about this, true and real. Monogatari, goodbye, Fire Sisters. All the Fire Sisters have perished. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Tsukihi. Rest in peace, Karen. This was funny as well. That was talked about a minute earlier. Yeah, like this kind of stuff here. And then this is another. So this was getting into the self-hypnosis. Oh my goodness, not again. The self word. Can I just hypnosis? Yeah, such a self-hypnosis. I think I got it there. that apparently self-hypnosis isn't really a great translation. And it's more of a what was the freaking like subtext or something, right? Hana clowna. Underlying message, implied meaning, hint, suggestion. So more of a yeah. Pulling out, because like self-hypnosis is like such, like that has such specific nuance or like connotation in English compared to just like a more under like read between the lines kind of thing. So basically pog, my brain is just slowed to a shut. It's just shut it down. It's stopped working. Okay, looking. There's also a hint of mourning, tragedy, or something miserable. None of the words have the exact same nuance, but there are hints of them all to some extent. Nuance to be kind of crazy. But yeah. So just basically like cut out a couple of those. So more of a sad, dampened, unnoticed implication set for myself instead of a sad... Yeah, because I mean this would be like dampened, unnoticed implication is... like a lot less active. It's a lot more passive compared to I'm hypnotizing myself, you know? In which case it's perhaps less of a commentary on the nature in which he's telling the story, and more of a commentary on the introspection he's doing into like what biases and what he's doing with his time. There we go. Took a minute, but we got there. Dad went for police milk as headcanon. This, so like, yes, it's a theory that it's not true, necessarily true. They've never like said that that's true or something. That's just a thing that's been cooking. Though apparently I think the food's burnt at this point. Maybe I should just throw it out. I don't think this is an example of that being not true. Like him and Mamaragi buying the car. I mean, did Araragi say, yeah, my mom and my dad bought this for me? Because if he did, then rest in peace. But otherwise, like the car being bought isn't something. Isn't like an example of the dad being around. Because I mean, like maybe the mom's just rich. Maybe the dad died and there's life insurance. I don't know their financial situation. Did they talk about their financial situation? Where was my tax evasion arc? You know. So like, unless if that was straight up said that the dad like helped pay for the car or something, then that's something. But the purchasing of the car, I don't think at all is like an example of like, oh, the dad must be in the life if they can afford a car. Because I mean, it's a time skip in the future. Maybe the man got a job. We don't know what happened in that area. Blah 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 blah. But also, yeah, the dad's probably just chilling around and just got cut out of the story because of something. So rest in peace. Rest in peace, that theory, I suppose. Or maybe it's gonna be alive. Maybe this is just 30 million IQ misdirects from the comments. Who knows? Maybe you're all lying to me. Are we watching the same show? I don't know. Maybe. I think so. I don't know. Music's insane. Cube cookies, that's funny. I don't know Kamen Rider, sadly. Local girl takes bath with brother, unhinged man, yaps about it for an hour. It's true. Mental breakdown, 80% is true. Apparently, the 2 round things on the brother's head comment, which was like, I was so confused by that. It's actually called double crown hair. Heard. Gotcha. You know, I'm glad to clear it up. Stagnation in a new beginning. Well said. Shout out the timeline. And we're just sneaking in right before Hana, so pretty easy there. Cooking, Ogi, Volkswagen Beetle, Heard. I think we're just sticking to novel order is the plan. I'll verbalize that out loud. Pog. Okay. Let me take another sip of my... Ooh, you hear her hiss? Well, don't mind if I do, pretty lady. Okay. So, let me get up to the episode. What do I have to talk about here? OPED. Let's just do the OPED. Let's just start with the OPED. That's just going to be the easiest, I think. So we're going to start with just looking over the OP. I don't know. Maybe 2 passes. 1 for background, 1 for lyrics. We'll see. So... roughly the start, 5:22 in episode 1, 3, 2, 1, bang. Yeah, let me just focus on the background completely. Already I'm like, I gotta focus. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's mostly just Ononoki dancing, right? But they do play with the, like, a disjointed feel of it. You know, with, like, her blinking and part of her eyes, like, blinking off of it. It also has like a paper doll feel, which maybe could be like an example of her being like a doll. That's why she's like illustrated, like it's very papery, you know? Like if you've ever seen those like friendship dolls, like you had like three human figures holding hands, and that's like the doll shape. I don't know what's up with the door there. I'll have to look at that again. But yeah, so that could maybe be part of that. It's also just the thing on her chest. So maybe it's just that. That shot goes hard. That actually looked sick. The like rotating and how like eased into it like that. Maybe we got tricked and this is actually a Tsukihi arc. And that's why she's doing some of the dance. And then she goes paper thin. Okay. Let me look at the door real quick and then we'll look at the opening doors. But we're always going in a straight line through all these doors. As opposed to choosing from a lot of doors. It's very linear. Which, like, linear would be like, you know, following fate in a straight line, you know? But, if, you know, because that's kind of a way we can go with the doll thing. But, okay. Let's actually look at the lyrics of this. Not like a massive amount going on with the backgrounds, because it's mostly just her doing her dance. Oh, and the disjointed part, I hopefully, like, let me just reiterate on that it's, like, disjointed, just like the Araragi dream sequence was very disjointed. That was kind of a connection. Okay. 524, going for lyrics before I... Probably gonna pause this time around. Definitely gonna pause. Okay. Already pausing. Under the breathtaking twilight. Okay. Stars flutter. Stars flutter. I know I said it last time, but that makes me just think Senjo Gahara. Like, Bake episode, like, 13 or whatever. That might be enough. Are we still talking about the stars? That might be enough, but I'm sure there is a reason. We cannot be sure that the things we see are all that there is. That's very, like, nature of oddity type behavior. You know, of like, oh, there's more than what lets on, right? That there's stuff behind the scenes, and, you know. I mean, that reminds me of, like, Nisei, right? With the whole, like, you know, Karen and Tsukihi are unaware of, like, the powers that be with oddities behind the scenes. But yeah, so that's reiteration. All we see is all there is. But you could maybe also take it less of a oddity human thing, and more of a, like, perhaps there are things acting on us that we're not aware of, such as Gaon's plans. I don't know what Gaon's planning, but she do be doing things. So maybe it's like that. The reason behind your smile, the reason for my tears. Ononoki, I know you not smiling nor crying, okay? Don't you pretend. Smile and tears? What got you smiling? How does that one meme go? I don't know. Who got you smiling like that? Okay, whatever. The reason behind your smile is the reason for my tears. Who's smiling and who's crying? I'm crying. I'm smiling. Okay. Well, I guess that's like a perspective. That's a statement on perspective. But to what end? Like, why would you bring that up? Of like... Eye of the Beholder, some things that make me happy make you sad, vice versa. But, I don't know. I feel like there's a specific thing there that we'll see. Okay, if I study it thoroughly, I will not be able to keep moving forward. No time for the introspection. Shout out the dog. If I study it, what makes me sad and what makes me what makes me smile, what makes you cry? If I study why... I mean, that's like a gray thing, right? Where it's like, maybe that's an example of something gray as opposed to black and white, where it's like, yeah, like, cool. It might, like, it makes you cry, makes me smile. But that's like an example of what's happy for one is sad for another, as opposed to, it's as easy as everyone gets happy. It's as easy as everyone gets sad. Like, that's, you know. And then specifically for it to be, I will not be able to keep moving forward if I try to figure that out. I mean, that's like, I stagnate, or I fear that I will stagnate if I, take the time to, like, I fear I will stagnate in my journey for black and white if I stagnate in the gray. Maybe. Who knows? Okay. Does anybody know? Does the author even know? Maybe it was all just a fluke. Okay, maybe this was all just no planning. Okay, the future I've ever been working towards and everything else. I grow unable to understand it all. Shut up. Shut up. Man, I could really see the guy, like going full, like, I'm done studying. I'm not taking the exam. Who cares anymore, you know? I could see that being an idea that crosses his mind, Araragi's mind, of, like, this, like, burnout, giving up state. Because, I mean, man, I've gone in that mental before, where it's, like, you know, I will spend, like, so long, like, locked in, you know, like, hitting everything I need to hit, and then right at the end, I'm just like, oh, wait, I actually don't care, and then I just fail everything at the end. You know, I've had that happen once or twice. Well, I don't actually just fail everything, but, like, all the effort that, like, was just pushing, just cracks just before the ending. It's kind of like one of those, I feel like, if you can relate. Even though it is full of contradictions, like, even so, this, my philosophy of black and white, like, suffers. Even so, it ain't perfect. I'm going to bed. I ain't gonna think about it, because if I think about it, then I'm failing. Then I'm, like, not, you know, making the moves. Okay. The thrilling orange. Orange is not a thrilling color. Mint? You look like a candy. You look like an Albarano. What are those called? You look like a little minty mint. But like sparkling? Mint is not sparkling. Mint is like not like bright spark. I'm not gonna get into color, freaking trying to talk about color. That's such a distraction. Under this breathtaking twilight, repeat line. Twilight. I don't freaking know. Alright, let's go to the Edie. Freaking Ononoki. Okay, let's just go to the Edie. 2233 on episode 131. Bang. As if I were an immortality of vampire. Call Shinobu. Okay. Already gonna pause. Sorry, you got tricked. Let's do a full background pass first. I just needed to figure out what I'm doing. Okay, 2241, episode 1, 321, bang. I'm just gonna... Full background. Something's grabbing her. Moving her around. Probably gone. Oh yeah, the mecha one. Karen and Tsukihi in the TV. Araragi and Shinobu are like pointing at it. Oh, there's gonna be people in that crowd. Is that Ogi in the crowd? Did I just see Ogi? I don't know. Other robots? Are they like evil? Are they like evil mecha? I guess she destroys them. Maybe it's like part of that... What was her name? Kagenui? Maybe it's part of that Kagenui thing of like... Was that Hachikuji? Of like... To be the one that destroys evils, to be the one that breaks the meteor, to be the one that fights the robots that need to be fought, I need to be a machine. Maybe it's like, you know? Or like understanding like, yeah. But like, maybe is a machine supposed to be like an oddity type thing? I don't know. What is all this rope? Okay, let me just watch it back. So, let's see. Oh, Karen Tsukihi are like, the world's gonna end! The world's gonna end! Look, there's the meteor approaching Earth and the moon. And Araragi and Shinobu are watching the TV. Are those golden donuts? Let me look at that crowd. Is that who is that, Hanakawa? Why does it look like her hat's made out of cheese? Continuing. Dude, shaft stylization, Gober. Senjugahara? Hanakawa, Senjugahara, let's say. What is that? What am I looking at? Huh? Sengoku? Who are you? What is that thing? It looks like a Tentacruel. It looks like a Pokemon. That looks like Sengoku. That's, Kagenui. That's... Who are you with the long hair? Araragi's mom, I guess. Oshino's in the crowd. Oshino's in the crowd. Kaiki. Maybe it was gone. And then that's Ogi. Bro, is Ogi the only one looking at us? Oh, wait, that's crazy if so. Oh, wait, run it back. Everyone's looking at the meteor. No, okay. Senjugahara is looking somewhere else. Not looking at the camera. Okay, them two aren't looking at the camera. But Ogi looking like straight at me, bro. Yeah, okay. Let me do a lyric pass. I'll pause in a second. You tell him, Araragi. You tell him. Okay, 2240, we're starting there, episode 1, just in case you're trying to queue it up for some reason. Actually, no, I'm gonna be pausing. I lie to you. I'm a little kaiki. These normal, ordinary days through bye-bye. He was kind of talking about this at the start, yeah. The moment I thought about that... Man, I haven't even talked about the time stuff. Somebody made a cool breakdown of, like, in the Discord of, like, Araragi's name, calendar, how, like, he you know, I don't even want to try to, like, spit that back out without having it in front of me. But there's some cool ideas in there that hopefully I'll be able to tie to things as we go on. I wondered if the end has already begun. Now's not the time. We choose our battles. Let's blame it on my spot-on fortunes. Or on my curled up hair. So Araragi, because Araragi got the curl. Right, I don't think Ononoki has anything like that. That like a curled up hair. Like we straight talking Araragi, right? But I'm unable to change. He straight up says it. Okay. Yeah, like Ononoki doesn't have like a curled up hair. But I'm stuck today, unable to change. This is starting to become a world where you don't exist. Whomst? I don't want to grow to regret the day called today. Fear of regret? Oof. Oh, wait. I wanted to see if that was Hachikuji. Who was it? Was that Hachikuji? Hachikuji's spirit, man. Hachikuji's an astronaut. Hachinaut, man. In the stars, bro. Hachikuji's in the stars. I've always known that. I wasn't able to say anything today. Even if we can never go back to those days. Listen, I want to start things from the beginning over and over again. Give me that recurrence, baby. Give me that recurrence. Ononoki in the stars. There's nothing but right now. Man, I want to start things over. I want to go back to basics, back to the start. Back when things were better. But it's not even just back to the start. I want to start it over again and again and again. Even though I've always known that, I want to tell you today. Okay, so the man... I'm frozen in place. I mean, that's really the big theme here. there's nothing but right now, and even though I've always known that, I wasn't able to say anything. Like, all I have is this moment, but even knowing that that's all I have, that doesn't give me the strength to do what I need to do. Fear of regret is interesting to throw in. Man, it's so crazy. It's like I feel like on a deeper, like, personal or like emotional level, like there's a weird sense being made, where it's like, oh, like that's what this feels like, or like oh, the things I'm seeing, like this song and like what it's relating to, that's what this is. But I'm having trouble verbalizing it because it's something that, like, and I mean, that's like something I've talked about before with like really good pieces of media, or like even more than media, but just it's like of just any, let's just say media, but really good pieces of media can like be the verbalization or the construction of something that you felt but you never really were able to put words to, or something you felt but you didn't really know you were even feeling. And it's like, holy crap, that's what that is. Like, that feeling of recognition, I think is a really big part of like effective media. And I feel like I'm really getting that with Araragi, but it's like in such a way that I'm having trouble like describing it. Because like, I mean, time is so horrible. Like, if there's one thing I could have infinite of, it'd be time, and it kills me. It kills me, right? For so many and I could get into that, and I could get into that, and I could get into that, right? Like, I could go on and on and on and on and on about that. Because I really hate time. I hate how we're so bound by it. And don't even try to hit me with the, oh, but your limited time is what gives time value. I'm gonna kill you with a rock. You ever thought about that? Counter argument. But so like this thing of like, oh man, frick. Give up on the sentence. Ogie, I'm gonna ogue you, bro. I'm gonna ogue all over. Okay. I don't want to regret the day called today. Yeah, like I feel that. Like that's so true. And because it's weird, and it goes into that calendar thing that I mentioned a second ago, of like the kind of part of the idea with that, in the way I took it, was that there's a difference between the calendar, like future, and because like that's like, oh, set date, like, you know, a year from now, versus like the idea of time and how it relates to our present moment. Because in our present moment with time, we're like just one day on the calendar, right? And while we can see the subsequent days, it, like, I feel like the distance kind of changes our relation to it, as opposed to more of a like, oh, within 10 minutes or before I go to bed. Like, don't even lock it into like a numerical system, but just like before X, like the time I have before or after or close to, or, you know, like the more like intimate close time, that is what can really get you. Cause I mean, I don't know. Where am I trying to go with that? Maybe something about how, like, looking back, it's like, oh, I wasted the last hour of my life because I was just scrolling TikTok, whatever, Reddit, YouTube Shorts, whatever, Instagram, and so like that can sting so much, as opposed to like, oh, 7 months ago, I took a week and I didn't do anything productive in this calendar week, right? Like the closeness, the proximity to time, which I think is separate from the calendar time. That's where like so much of the stress is, at least for me, I think. I don't know. Actually, it's probably all time for me, because time I hate so much. But yeah, like that, I guess. I don't know. Let me just scream. Can I just scream? Is that an option anymore? I want to start things over from the beginning. Because it's like starting things over from the beginning is like, oh, I won't regret that. Like, I can fix all my past regrets. It has such a thing of regret to me. But it's like, Araragi, what are you regretting? Are you just afraid that you haven't maximized, like, you know, that you've And I guess that could be like a part of like failing to live up to his own moral system within him. And so it's like, oh, I failed to live up to that. I feel regret over my failure. I wish I could start things from the beginning over and over again so I could perfect it, and live up to that standard I've set. I mean, that's kind of the way I want to take it. But I mean, you can't go back. You know, as much as I'd love to, can't go back. And maybe it's better that way. Maybe it's better that way. I don't know. Go talk to like Time God. Ain't me. Okay, go talk to Kronos. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me just do some scroll through. Let me just do a little eensy weensy, smeensy weensy bit of scroll through. Has it really been that long? Speaking of time, because like, I think it has 55 minutes, 56 now. That's crazy to me. And there'll be a little bit cut, so our time's going to be a little different, right? Because there's a little bit at the beginning. Takes me a few tries to do the intro. I actually have another 30 minutes that I already deleted that I was failing to do the intro for. So, but wow. Time flies when you're losing your mind. Okay. So, yeah. A lot of this stuff is crazy to me. Her true nature is that of an oddity. She doesn't fit into human society well. Isolation and the such. Does that mean that she's striving to be human? Does that mean that she's striving to be human? That she's doing her best to try and be human? And then he says, wait, no, it probably ain't like that. Which I think is why he himself has deteriorated into full vampire, as stated before, right? I'll just double down on that idea because I think that really makes sense to me. Like it's a means to blend in, not a genuine attempt to, right? And yeah, a means to be compatible, therefore not a means to assimilate. Right on it, and he's applying that onto himself, and so therefore relinquishing himself into full oddity mode, full vamp mode. And this is, I think, mostly like subconscious, not like him being like, I'm gonna wake up and be a vampire, but it's like this is like how it manifests, that realization. Maybe he hasn't consciously projected it onto himself, but subconsciously he's projected it onto himself or something. And that's where we're at. And so now he's full vampire because he's like, oh, wait a second, my attempts to blend into human society doesn't make me human. Because he is, right, like coming out of Kizu, socially isolated, blah, blah, blah. Now he's been branching out a lot more, saving people and all that, trying to integrate. But that hasn't, like, if that doesn't make you human, which he's getting from Ononoki, then what does he have left to stand on to be human for that half-human self? And for him, I think he is crumpled, right? Man, and it gets into some interesting... do I want to talk about that? Not really. Maybe I'll just skip it on Megalol. I'll probably bring it up later. It's just a bit of a tangent. I mean, it relates, but we don't need to relate too much, okay? If Araragi's going on a doom spiral, then maybe I should have a tiny bit of a wall built up between connecting with him, or else I'm gonna follow him right down. Oh, no. In the matter of Sengoku and the Snake God, straight up brings it up. Thinking back to the darkness. This music's crazy. I wonder how much longer things will go like this. I'm kind of fed up with that. Me every day. When I wake up, when I go to sleep, in between. Every hour. Every second. Every minute. So relatable. Feeling that trickery is starting to no longer work. I also feel despair from it. Trickery is like, okay, what do you mean by trickery, my guy, Araragi? Do you mean that you self-trickery? Like, what do you mean trickery? Like, who to whom? To others? To yourself? That you're trying to, you feel that how desperate you are, and you feel that you are, like, tricking yourself, but, I also feel despair from it. But that feeling is a luxury. To think that it will continue forever is a luxury. The world doesn't work like that. I should have known that. So, it's funny. It's a funny thing here. He talks about, or the moment is talked about, right? Like, all we have is now was kind of talked about in the ED. But here, in this entire intro segment, it's him, like, going on, like, a day, like, having a day with Ononoki, and he's not in the moment at all. He's in his head thinking about something else. She's looking over and being like, hey, like, what's up, man? and he's literally head down on the roller coaster. Like, he's not there, right? Even in the story about, you know, how all you have is the moment, he's not even utilizing the moment at the amusement park or whatever, right? He's not even utilizing his day with Ononoki. So, what, is he gonna feel regret that he wasn't there? You know, that wasn't in the moment? It's like he's in, like, some, like deep, like, introspection, disassociation kind of state. You know, she's looking to him as he's off the side, you know. What's this? The rowdy days seem to continue for just a bit longer. The repetition of such words will someday reach its limit. The story of the doll. Or is this the Tsukiji Phoenix? I don't know. Something with Tsukiji Phoenix. Or the dance Platinum Disco. I mean, the story of the doll that I'm going to tell is a story where I came to understand that. Oh, she dancing. Oh, she dancing. At least he's Moroccan here. He's here in this moment. That's why this is the beginning of the end. The story's about how a human, how about how myself. Hachiguchi! Hachiguchi! Look! Look! It's Hachiguchi! Hachiguchi! In the top left of this little game she's playing. I think that's Hachiguchi. So fun. Wait, more references? Give me more, give me more. Is there another Hachi in there? No. Oh, look! Snake, crab, monkey, I don't know what that is, but they're all a bunch of the oddities. The cat? That's funny. In the vending machine. In the slot machine. What is that called? In the grabber. In the grabber machine. I think I just watched the new episode. Oh no, what am I talking about? I literally haven't gone through like another 2/3 of this. I want to watch the new episode so bad, man. I don't want to even. This part just makes me lose it, man. Oh, Valentine's, yeah. What kind of connection is Valentine's gonna have into anything? Maybe it's a Valentine's date with Ononoki instead of Senjugahara or something crazy. I don't even know if instead of Senjugahara is important, but... Because, I mean, how much does Senjo care about Valentine's? I don't know. Araragi, that's a question between you and her. Only a month left. It's true. Okay. It is funny that Hanakawa was straight up gone, too, right? As opposed to, like, helping him do his stuff. Oh, licking the foot. Yeah. Daddy Oni-chan? What an insane line. Oh, it's snowing! February snow? Where do they live? Oh, oh! Hey. He's trying to troll. He's trying to troll Karen. You're being irritated. What is... Okay. I don't know. Do I have anything else to say here? Monogatari, Madoka Magica reference. Very nice. All these clocks. But no matter which way it goes, in due time, my environment will change more than Karen's for sure. Oh yeah, this was important. This was crazy. Him saying that he feels he needs to wake them up. To what? To what? And I threw it, and me too. Oh, you say that so quick. What are we waking up to? The fact that you're a monster and monsters are real with oddities? That? I don't know. Okay. The bath gets done. This was so funny when she threw the freaking thing. Where is that? Like right here? I just want to see that scene again. This right here, bro. The animation here got me so hard. Oh, he just full ducks like that? But yeah. Gimmicks, bath. It's funny. It's like, they started as a gimmick, but, you know, the whole, like, the connection of nudity where it's like they have no layers to like, you know, like, keep themselves distanced, like, emotionally or whatever, is, like, immediately causes, like, uncomfort. And also just naked siblings would also just do that. Like, it comes, you know, like, you don't even have to get too crazy with it. Like, of course they're uncomfortable, like, just in the story, you know. Most of the... What's the wait? Let me just grab right at the end here, and then we'll jump into the episode. The real talk. Nadeko is released. And he says he's glad. Are you coping? Because I know you're glad, but do you feel you failed still? All I could say was, I see. I didn't have the right. Yeah, like, he feels so responsible. Though I can never show my face to her again. Somehow I can think like that. Does he feel bad because he's saying he's glad, but he doesn't have the, like this somehow makes me think that it's like, dang, like, I'm glad that she's better, but I don't even deserve to feel happy about that. And he kind of said that a second ago, like, I don't have the right. All I could say was, I see, I didn't have the right. Yeah, it's like, he doesn't have the right to be happy about it because he wasn't part of it. He failed to do anything about it. But he can still think like that. So is it like him feeling happy that she's happy is something that he's condemning himself for because he doesn't think he deserves that happiness because he wasn't part of the solution, and he failed his responsibility to make it happen. So like he feels like an inner guilt towards that positive feeling. And then he goes vice mode. It's not something oh yeah, it's not something she knows the minute details of. She doesn't know about what happened with Sengoku. You're putting too much weight on your shoulders is funny because way back in Hitagi Crab, you remember he weighed more right after he took it off of Senjugahara? Because he like fixed Senjugahara and then he weigh extra because he had like taken that weight upon himself. So he's being crushed by like the weight of like everyone he takes upon himself, and then when he fails to take on somebody's weight, like with Sengoku, then he like self-flagellates. He's like emotionally saying like, I'm a monster, I'm horrible, like blah blah blah. You probably don't want me to say it, I'll say it. Yeah. Because I mean, he can immediately jump to, oh, she doesn't know the full story. Like, of course she's just saying that. And which he does. Yeah. True. That good, wonderful thing is once again created. Right, yep. Unstable area. He feels he needs to fix that. And without solving that issue, or at least doing something about it. I feel regret at leaving. Because he feels that, yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, Gahen gave him the god thing to use on Shinobu, so it was his own decision that did lead to this. So to a degree, like, I could see, like, why he would, like, of course he would feel responsible. Like, he was literally told to Shinobu, to godify Shinobu, and he didn't, right? And then as a byproduct, Sengoku got hurt, he failed to help her, and it's now unstable again. Like, that's just lose, because he wasn't willing to compromise with Shinobu. It's not your role at all. What are you saying to me, Tsuki? I agree with you, right? Because he is. Well, it's not your role to balance. I mean, balance is important, but trying to balance everything you can't do. You need to balance your balancing. You have to balance balancing, okay? Everything in moderation, including the work of balancing. The work of moderation should be done in moderation. Oh no. And it, like, I don't, like, is this, so I think this is, I agree with, but he thinks it's the wrong thing to do because he's so doubled down on fixing everything because that's his you know, but because she even says, like, just because, like, you would disagree with this or you won't, like, this is difficult to say, that's why I'm going to say it. And she says it's not that bad. He doesn't want bad at all. Right. Okay. Well, is there anything else here? I'm ready to jump into the episode. Really going? Doesn't he just say it's fine? Oh, that he'll figure it out. Yeah. Bathe with a young girl, bathe with Shinobu. I don't exist anymore. Everything's falling apart. My mind is reeling. Episode 2, let's get going. Beginning of episode 2 of Tsukimonogatari should be exciting. Let's get it going. In a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! Oh, we jump straight into it. Is he gonna reveal it to her? That'd be crazy. Or no, he's trying to... Ooh, clutch, 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 clutch. Whoa. Okay, dude. No, he's not trying to kiss you. Karen, what are you about to walk into? Oh my god, Karen! Is she gonna see the two of them? Oh, okay. Just they haven't done anything. Stained glass, bro. Y'all getting freaky? We live, we survive. It will not break me. I refuse to be broken. If I break, it will be of my own volition. It will be my decision to fall. Bro, Karen was not scared to take her shirt off or her bra off, her sport bra. She really full sent that. That was crazy to me. Whew. It is kind of crazy if we want to, like, he considers himself as a full vampire and then immediately is about to lock lips with her, with Tsukihi, right? Like, that's, because, you know, she's an oddity, that whole thing. So, that's fun. And then Karen, like, the last little bit of full human sister comes in and says, like, Ayo, stop. I thought we were about to brush teeth. Like, what happened to that? Man. How much are you about to be in this, Ononoki? What if you're just not in it? Like, where are you coming in? I guess you could come in as, like, a what do I do about the whole full vampire situation. Because he, like, what, like, I feel like he feels the need to fix, well, he's probably going to try to fix this, so that, as opposed to, so that he doesn't have to keep hiding it? Oh, Shinobu. Yeah, going to Shinobu makes sense. Oh no! Shinobu, where are you? Is she in there? Good call, Mr. Donut. Yup! Oh, okay, thank you. Ow. I was... Okay, he do be bondaged. I haven't sucked your blood, but you've turned into a vampire. Oh, you're still damaged? Wait, what? What have you turned into? I forgot about that detail. Ow! Stop! Okay. It fits with what you presumed, but why can't he heal? Yeah. Is he, like, mentally not letting it heal, or is it just slow? Oh. Yeah, what about back in Kizu? Man was healing off... Oh, wow. I guess, yeah, like in his specific vampire situation, his healing's just not that good. Is this where Ononoki's coming in? Or yeah. Yeah. Why Ononoki? Why are we in a kid's room now? What happened to your room? Why would we talk to her? Or do you mean Kagenui? No, you mean Ononoki, right? Oh, he gave her a little frog. She's the strongest? Why are you just giving Shinobu frogs? Nope, he broke his SIM card. He gone. Oh no, you could? You still have a line of contact to Kaiki? I thought you couldn't. Okay, bet. What, who? Oshino? Or your sisters? Or who? Sentoku. There's a lot of people. Gaen? Okay, I heard. Oh, to get in touch with Kagenui. Okay, sure. I thought we were going back to just like, let's find someone to talk to. No. I can't. I'm gonna go on fire if I step outside. Do I got Uber? Can I just Uber Eat some? Meet Yotsugi. Oh, she already... Thanks, Gaen. Yeah, Gaen already sent the message before I even did... Yeah, because she knows everything. You're naked. Oh my goodness. Put on a shirt. Please. It's not meowing. You are not Hanakawa. Wham! Across the chin. Oh, you trying to kiss again? Oh, you trying to hug? What is going on? This is crazy. They're doing like a crazy, like orbital... They're doing an orbital sound, man. Good call. Yeah. That's true. Of Tsukihi Phoenix. Good call. Okay. Alrighty, you look good. I like the outfit. Prize games. Oh, we're going to the amusement park. Oh, it's not just It wasn't just an environment for that. We're actually going here. Oh, she in there. Break her out! Break her out! Punch the glass. Why did Gon put her in there? Did Gon put her in there? Why would you do that, Gon? Is she a corpse right now? Is she even animated? This is so weird. What, did you just go for something else? What did you go for? Oh, good morning, Shinobu. Okay. No, it's actually not that bad. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, gotta show up as human as much as you can. Round two, round two. No, that's too early. That's too early, man. I don't know, you just fell back? What was that? Yeah, at least we can go center mass now. Oh, oh. Don't they have a little barrier around the hole, though, so that, like, things don't just fall in? Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. We got her. Woo! Because, wow, crazy line. Kagenui. I mean, she's just a means to the end. Is that what we mean? Oh. Hey! I won. I won an Ononoki. Oh, thank you. Took you. Yeah, what was up with that? Huh? Is the brother part from the oddity part? Can she tell? Ah, ah, ah! That's so scary, bro. Hey, it's been a minute. Oh, it's been a minute. Why are we at a tree? Why are we at the ruins? Man, I'm glad to see her again. Dang, he flexible. Okay. You were just in the sun? Yeah, the sunlight from the day. Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. That's cool. Are we gonna punch him through the gut to test his healing factor? I mean, this is dangerous for him. He's literally... Okay. Okay. Ow, 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 ow. She's like a... She's a grinder, man. She's a pulverizer. How does it taste? Okay, Detroit become human. Okay, Connor. She's about to hurt him. Yeah. What? That's cool. She cast silence. For real, for real. He's taken a lot worse than the other stories. Okay, yeah, let's see. Ideologically and conceptually? He's not able to, like, ground his, like, self, so he's like, you know, like, what's going on here, man? Through the cosmos! Hanakawa. It's just so much boobs. It's mostly Hanakawa boobs. I think it all is Hanakawa boobs. Wow! That's crazy to me. It's true. It's true. We're all in her constellation, and it works. He grounds himself in Hanakawa, who he, idolizes or whatever. Like, especially the boob part, you know, like. That's an entire thing. Oh, we can talk about that later. Okay. Yeah, what's going on? Just straight up? Thank you. What do you mean by that? Holy crap, this Princess Disney. No, that was a cold entrance. I liked it. That was actually a good move. Kagadu, that was a good move. It's going to take some effort. Whoa, she in a little dress. She in a different outfit. Of course. She just dodges. Dodges the comment. She really trying to get some, like, prestige up in here. Oh, I see. Shinobu, you ain't got that no more. You can't make these demands. You ain't got the... Of your prideful self? Ouch. Dang. No need to open old wounds by trying to take the past back. Whoa. Stop your whining. I'm sorry. Okay. Wow. He projected, bro. He used his own tech. He used his own tech for helping her feel better. That's crazy. Who are all these snowmen? You could just end the episode. You could just end the episode. You could pause right now to hoe the viewer. I don't know why you just talked about me, by the way. As if I'm... What? Split. Okay, yeah. But what of your spirit? What of your soul? What are we going? You say this the... Yeah. Ooh, debuffs for your intelligence. Yeah, I would love to hear from Oshino. Oh, wow. That's a crazy line. He's too stupid. Fundamentally and completely independently. Wow, okay. He's acted as a vampire. Like an oddity acts as an oddity, right? His actions of vampirism have made him an individual vampire. Whoa, good line! Interesting. I liked that line. That was crazy. From the beginning, nothing was calculated. Fair enough. True, 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 true. Over-reliance. Over-reliance on that. That's true. Me too, brother. That's me every episode. Like, I feel like I know what's going on, but also I have no idea what's going on. There's no fixing this? Wait. Yeah, what are you gonna say? Oh no. With no hesitation. Ooh. New strat. We make Aragi the god. No. Oh man, that's... I don't believe her. We've always fixed it. And I know that's like the point, that we've always fixed it and that we've always gone back, so now it's like become a thing. But like, can't we just keep fixing it? Or like do a new fundamental change that's different than all the changes before that'll like really lock us into human, you know? It's the you don't exist, like the human part? I don't know. Huh. But now what? That was such a now what? Are you gonna just kill him? Because he's an oddity. If you're saying he's like unfixable as an oddity, then that's just kill status, right? Like, why doesn't he just... Kagenu just ices him here, right? And is this like... So, got too used to turning into one. It is self-perception, like I said. Because I have said, like, I think this is a self-perception change. But it is different than what I said as well. Because I wasn't going the route as to why the reason for his self-perception to change into I'm a vampire is different. Because let me look at her line, her fire line here. Where was it? It was like Ononoki... right before this, saying like you got so used to it. You were too stupid. You buffed your experience too much, which means you debuffed your intelligence by doing too many stupid things. That's so weird. Like, seeing the experience as you have too much experience, which made you too stupid. Because you got away with so much stupid stuff because you were using vampirism. That's kind of the idea, right? While solving all the incidents in this town, you relied too much on your powers as a vampire. You relied too much on your powers. Which has... Yeah. Because you can't just live... Man, it's crazy. It's like he was trying to walk the line between human and oddity. Because, you know, act as human, but use the power of oddity, you know, or whatever. To, like, be super... I don't know, without nuance in that. But that is what bit him. But I'm trying to think, like... let me just keep playing it. But then why was his healing slower? Just because he's a less powerful vampire, so he doesn't have this super regen? He's just his own thing? You didn't turn into a vampire too many times, but rather you got too used to turning into one. So good. I appreciate her clearing it up for me. Thank you, Ononoki. Only time I'll say that. You didn't turn into a vampire too many times, you got too used to turning into one. So it's not about turning into a vampire, it's about turning into a vampire. It's not about the amount of times that you turn into a vampire, it's about the perception of being okay with turning into a vampire. Because it's like he had the need. He used it as a means to an end so much that he got comfortable with the means. He got comfortable with the oddity. He got comfortable with the vampire half. He started making out with Tsukihi. And that is what turned him to a vampire. Because of... It's like your actions, right? Like your actions are what... like in terms of like defining yourself, like how would you define yourself? Do you define yourself in your words you speak, in the thoughts you think, or in the actions you do? A mix of all three, specific ones. How do you define other people? You obviously can't think their thoughts. You don't know what they're thinking, right? So you're already a chunk down if you're trying to use that on another person, blah, blah, blah. So it's like the action of turning into a vampire and the comfort, which would be more of the thinking of doing that, of being fine with that, of going to that option, that's what has made him into a vampire. But, man, now I'm thinking, because, I mean, that's crazy when you move it against the freaking episode 1, like, the monologue at the beginning, right? With, like, what's this gonna do? Is he gonna keep trying to be human, though? I don't even know if Kageru is gonna let him walk away. Right? I mean, I know things are crazy right now, but if he's the one thing that Oshino couldn't predict, and he's a full vampire, and there's no turning back, then why not just murk him where he stands? And what does this mean for Shinobu? I guess Shinobu's still just in her same spot, but he's an independent vampire, so he's broken off of her. But she's still attached to him, I would suppose. Which is crazy. Which means... he could, if this is true, then he could kill, like Shinobu could die, and, well, but he doesn't want Shinobu to die, because that's why he didn't go back to being full human. But it's like, that's like a lost cause, so, yeah, I'm trying to think what this does for the Shinobu relationship. Whew, I don't know, where are we going? Where are we going with this? 2 more episodes, and then what? Like, are we going to fix this? Because, I mean, that's the question. Like, you know, most of the arcs, we walk in, the arc happens, we walk out of it, things are mostly fixed. That's why it was so crazy with, like, whenever there's, like, a loose end, right? With, like, Black Hanakawa, you know, has been a loose end a couple times, and then Sengoku was a loose end there. And I feel like that's always been kind of a connection. I mean, there's, and, like, the monkey arm vestige was around for Hana, right? But now it's like that cycle of just like dealing with things over and over has like, it's reached the end point. Like, he can't keep doing that because he's no longer human. But what's stopping him? Because like maybe the intro monologue with Ononoki is just wrong. Like, who's to say, like, because he says that that's his understanding of things, and it took him a while to realize that. So I guess that's what he's going to be figuring out in this arc of like, what, are you just gonna fully, like, is the word abscond? Are you gonna fully just be like, dang, I guess I'm a monster. You know? And because is he going to, in the same way he was describing Ononoki, use that on himself, kind of in the way that I've been talking about? Because I mean that would rely on him admitting that he's unfixable at this point, admitting that his human part is like gone and like unfixable and just gone. And like, dang, I feel like that's literally like all of Araragi, you know, like. That's the Araragi special. Is where like you're taking out such a core chunk of like how he's functioned. So it makes me like, I don't know if doubtful is the right word, but it makes me be like, are we really doing this? Because you can't take that back. And I know you said it, Ononoki, but you think I just trust your words? Not entirely. But it's also like Tsukihi, like. Would you, in the same way you described Ononoki, you would say that to Tsukihi, like the intro monologue? Where, because she doesn't even know she's an oddity. But she's still not a human, and she's, I guess it's kind of that perspective. What does this do? What are you going to do to this, Araragi? Are you going to just doubt? Are you just not going to believe it? I mean, this is obviously, look at all this build-up for that message. It's a huge message for him to take. And I feel like Kagenui could just throw hands. But he was also like, I mean, wow, like the intro I feel like was so like, or where was it? Of like the intro monologue of like, the walls were coming down and he's like, dang, maybe I'm like kind of, there's gonna be an end. Like that was a big part of the intro, you know, like there's an end to this thing that's happened, like to all of this that's going on. So perhaps, like, is there a part of Araragi that's just going to like go like full, like, burn it all down kind of type, where it's like, oh, I've actually crossed the line, like it's over, like I literally, like I thought this would keep going and going and going, but now I have to face the conclusion that no, I've tried to have my cake and eat it too for far too long, and now I don't have, now I've lost it, and so it's, like, then what? Do we just go full vampire mode and like burn it all down? How do we desperately cling on to like Tsukihi and other oddities, Shinobu? Are the balancers going to be out to get us? Is this even like completely true? What do you mean by unfixable? If these fingers don't heal. The freaking boob Horizon, like 2001 Space Odyssey is crazy to me. That was just wild. And then her little palace here. If it's going to take some effort, I can just stick my arm into your shadow and pull her out like some internal organ. I'll grab on with enough feeling as if I was pulling all her blonde hair out. And then she's like, oh, what's up? It's your girl. It's Shinobu. I'm here. Sitting on my throne. Desperate to get some prestige back. But because it's funny, like, if she accepted the apology, then she would have to accept that she got her head stepped on. Which is like, you were, like, above me or whatever. And her little, like, teary-eyed... Oh, yeah, this was interesting to me. Man, where's this show gonna go? How Araragi, like, jumped to, oh, you were self-sacrificing. And self-sacrifice is good. That's another reason that I kind of thought the Araragi dad stuff could have been an angle. Like, like, what if he self-sacrificed in a police encounter and died, and Araragi... And that's why Araragi's so fixated on self-sacrifice. Like, even beyond just wanting to die, right? That's why it's taken that specific form. Like, I feel like there's so many avenues with that, but we're gonna a lot of that away. There could have been some sort of act of self-sacrifice in his life. Like, I don't know. Araragi steps out into traffic, random passerby that we don't know, jumps in, pushes him out of the way, self-sacrifices for Araragi. Araragi feels responsible for this person's death. That's why we go to the traffic lights so much. That's why Hachikuji got hit by a car, because it's a reflection of Araragi, who almost got hit by a car, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, something. Like, maybe self-sacrifice has a root in the mysterious action that happened to him. I mean, that's kind of cooking, but it's completely a shot in the dark. But it's kind of a sick idea, if I do say so myself. That, like, that he almost died. And so it's like he feels responsible for the person that saved him, because he, like, was crossing at the wrong time. Maybe that's what Ogi was talking to him about, and Ogi was trying to dig up his past traumas in the way that Ogi does. to try to get onto him, but a ding, 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 and he was trying to cope and get his way out of it. You know, that's why Ogi was talking about traffic. I don't know. That could be like the most insane foreshadowing if it all had to do with this. It all had to do with like someone, you know, that would be crazy. Right. I've covered you with my body. I'm so cool. Yeah, but like, I mean, the way this is phrased, it's like, or the way this was shown to us, of like Shinobu is like, kind of, pathetic and trying to get her like pride back, and then Araragi's like, oh, it was self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is good. I mean, that's so like, it's just like placating. Like that's so surface level of just like self-sacrifice is good, done, white, easy. For her to like take, what was that? What the heck? I don't know. Shinobu. Which just makes it look like wow, Araragi, like, can you tell how dumb, like, not dumb, but like, can you tell how like surface level this looks when you say such a thing to her? It almost feels like maybe like a narrator, him critiquing himself or something crazy. Huh. So I do think the vampire stuff, like the nature of that makes sense. What was up with the whole claw machine thing? Was that just a funny gimmick? He's like fishing her out of a pile of a bunch of oddities that he's dealt with in the past, and a giraffe. The giraffe. Araragi giraffe. You know, but a like crab and monkey or whatever, right? So it's like, which one am I going to get this time? Which oddity am I going to pick up this time, you know? Something crazy like that. He really suck at this. And now he keeps trying and trying and trying, kind of thing. That kind of goes into like how he just functions. Him being kind of honest with Tsuki was interesting, because he's trying to protect her, but he's like not telling her the truth of why. So he's like letting her stay like, I guess, asleep in that way. Oh yeah, and how he jumped to, like, what am I going to use to heal my fingers? Like, what is my motive for that? What was it? Because she was saying like conceptually and ideologically, let's go into like your conceptions and like your ideals and like all that thing. And he went to Hanakawa's boobs, and I feel like you could just say that's a funny meme, and I'm down with that. But it's also, oh my god, it's also like that I feel like with the whole like Neko shoot, like freaking Black Hanakawa, like as the Black Hanakawa separates all the black out of her, so it's just the pure white ideological Hanakawa, and that's the thing. And he saw that in her, and that's what he like projected his own like oh, she's actually an example of this pure white justice being carried out kind of thing. So I feel like him going to her as like what's my ideological founding? It's like, oh, he's like doubling down again. Like this is almost like a visualization of him doubling down on like his concepts of justice. Or it's just boobs. Or it's just big honkers in space, man. 2001 Space Odyssey, man. You know, like this show. Yeah. Very interesting. Very peculiar. Am I gonna have to do like retrospectives on this show as a whole? Is that where we're at in life? I feel like one day I might have to do retrospectives on this show, because there's just so much to look back through, and like dive into, you know? And I could say that over and over and over and over again. Karen really didn't get to be in this episode much at all either. She just showed up and got kicked out. Or rather, kicked Tsukihi and then was out. You know? Which was crazy to me. Oh yeah, just they're all naked. What's up with this amusements? What's up with the cages? Huh? Cage, you're in the cage, you're trapped, you know, you're whims to the fate. But like, to what end? For what purpose? Why are we at the cram school? Why are we at the ruins of this is the ruins of the cram school, right? What does that mean? Someone explain? No, don't explain. Don't spoil me. Why are we at the ruins of the cram school? The site of where Shino used to be. Site of abandonment. Site of the thing that catches you up having been burnt. Maybe like we're back to stagnation nation. Which could be cool. I mean, yeah, okay. And then it turns into a Princess Fairy Castle. Is that just to, like, build up to the... I think that's just to... Or, like, just to build up to the whole, like, Araragi commenting the self-sacrifice thing. And then this, the snowman. Alright, I'm done. I don't know. What is up with the snowman? I don't know. Yeah, I just... What? Because we don't get people in the show normally, so is this, like, all the people that's been cut out of the show? Because Araragi always cuts the people out of the show. Are these his parents? Are these his I don't know. What are these supposed to be? It's just or is it just a bunch of snowmen for an interesting environment? And the Judge Gavel, like, that all makes sense. But snowmen? And then, like, oh yeah, and then the final thing. I can end on at least a somewhat makes sense note. Infantilizing Shinobu, playroom, super young, giving her stuffed things. That's very, like, infantile, whatever, as, like, a escape hatch. Let me actually read this Garan message, and then I'm just, your boy's mental is cracked. Like, cracked not in the pogged way, but in the way that it's cracked. Tonight at 7 o'clock, 4th floor of the department store. Across from the station to the game corner, you should be able to meet Yotsugi there. I've made those arrangements. I've made, this gratitude someday. I hope you repay by your friendship. Your friend, God. It's just crazy that, like, she knows everything. And so do I take that as comfort or do I take that as not comfort? Because I mean, Araragi doesn't like that idea. Sure. If we want to get into, like, all that of, like, his sympathy with Ononoki, who's just along for the ride, you know. But, like, what is Gon's aims? Balance? Balance sounds good, but I don't know if her idea of balance is good. But if she knows everything, then, like, maybe, just maybe, that, like, who else is a better fit to balance the town than someone that knows everything? Like, surely the omniscient one is the best leader. Surely. Ogi. No wonder Araragi talked to Ogi after losing Hachikyuji. Can I just talk to Ogi? Alright, you know I've lost it if I've said that. I think that's all I got for this episode. Episode 2 of Tsukimonogatari. On to the next episode 3. Of course, if you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, level, comment below. If you're subscribe, comment, subscribe, love me, give me comments, love, like the video, join the Discord, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be seeing you on the next episode, episode 3 of Tsukimonogatari. Should be exciting. Hopefully we'll start to figure out what is going on. Is this actually fixable? Are we about to throw hands? That's the question, but I don't know. We will get the answer later, I guess. But that's all I got for this episode. Episode 2 of Tsukimonogatari. On to the next episode 3. I'll be seeing you then. Peace.